showing out, making moves, no doubt. FFA pride, it's what we're all about. From classroom dreams to real world flair, we got the stories you won't find anywhere. Beyond the jacket where the stories unfold, voices of the future, fearless and bold. Tune in now, let the passion ignite. It's more than a jacket, it's a way of life. Beyond the jacket where passion meets purpose.
Welcome back to Beyond the Jacket, the podcast where we share the stories of FFA members and alumni whose Blue Jacket experiences shaped the way they are today. I'm your host, Paige Cruz, and today we're heading out west to meet a California FFA member who proves you don't have to be born into agriculture to find your home in it.
Joining us is Blake Reed, a high school senior who's made a name for himself in the show ring with his hog project. But what makes his story unique is that Blake didn't grow up on a farm, but through hard work, mentorship, and his SAE, he's built a passion that's guiding him toward a future in agriculture education. We'll talk about his journey from beginner to leader, the lessons he's learned along the way, and how he's preparing for the next step, earning his state and American FFA degree and inspiring the next generation of ag students. Blake, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what your FFA chapter is like?
So I'm from a small town called Reedley, California. I'm from the Reedley FFA Chapter. Reedley actually has the nickname of the town being the world's fruit basket. We grow a lot of citrus, stone fruit, almonds, and I live next to towns like Tulare and Visalia, who are nicknamed like the dairy capitals of the world. My chapter, we have 3 chapters in my town actually. So we have the high school I go to. We have a dual enrollment school, and then we have a private Christian school, and they're all just 3 chapters in one little small town, which is really cool. And so obviously with the nickname the world's fruit basket, our town is very agriculture based and like agriculture like community. And so we have a lot of farmers and everything. My chapter, we have 500 members, close
Oh,
to it.
wow.
Yeah, we
That's
are a
big.
big chapter. We are bigger than the band which I'm in, and we only have like 200 members in that. So it's crazy to think about that. But with our chapter, we don't have a lot of involvement. Um, we have so at fair currently, we have 34 lambs. That's a lot of lambs. 3
Yeah.
hogs, 1 beef, and then I believe like 6 goats. So compared to like the 500 members, that's not a lot. So fair, I would definitely say, is our biggest thing we do. But besides that, we don't have much involvement with CDEs or LDEs, so that's a problem we're trying to combat with just like saying like, hey, FFA is more than agriculture. Like it can actually teach you leadership skills, and it can help you with stuff in life that you need along the way, which is like cooperating with others. So yeah, my
No,
chapter's very big, but doesn't have involvement that it should have.
that's something we always struggled with in our FFA chapter. I mean, not nearly as big. I would give
Mhm.
my right hand to be in a chapter that big. I mean, we only had like 40 to 50 members where I'm from, Blake. But that's awesome. You're in such a agriculturally rich area, and even though your chapter may not be as involved in CDEs or LDEs, they're still working in agriculture, and who knows, maybe you can be the person to bridge that gap and make a friend and encourage more members to step into CDEs and LDEs.
That's what I
Yeah.
do actually. So I'm a part of executive committee, and I'm the committee chair for growing leaders. So my main thing is actually getting FFA members to like get more active and come join and just build that leadership in our chapter.
I bet that comes naturally because you kind of are sharing your story almost with them because you didn't grow up in agriculture. So, what is it that first got you interested in joining FFA?
So I actually joined FFA by complete accident. Um, so before I came to my school that I am at now, I went to the dual enrollment school that I was talking about earlier. It's FFA is required at that school. That's you have ag for your science all 4 years,
Hmm.
and their advisor is very competitive. Like if they were athletes, they would be D1 athletes at school. They are very good at what they do, and I'm so proud of my sister chapter for just like being really good at what they do. Um, so we have opening and closing over here, just the normal opening and closing ceremonies, but it's an actual sectional competition. And so I was president my freshman year for it. It's in November. It's coming up. Um, and so I never knew what FFA was. I was like, huh? Future Farmers of America. What is that? Okay. And so he made it to where it's either you had to do opening and closing or you had to write a 10-page essay on a topic he chose. So who would not choose opening and closing to say a few words in front of people that you don't know versus a 10-page essay that's going to take days to actually work for? And so I joined it, and I didn't do much after that. But when I transferred to my school that I'm at now, second semester of freshman year, um, I still wasn't very involved. They just did the same classes, which was agriculture biology. And then sophomore year, I joined agriculture chemistry, and my ag teacher, I'm very talkative in class. I was very talkative. And so instead of like telling me to like hone it down or be quiet or like sending me to the principal for that, she really honed it in. And she just came to me one day. She's like, "You're going to a job interview competition." And I went, "Huh?" She went, "Job interview. You're going to create a resume, a cover letter. You're going to research a job that on this list." She's like, "Are you busy in 3 weeks?" I'm like, "Well, I have nothing to do. Okay, why not? I can get out of the house. Why not?" And so I went, I created a cover letter and a resume. I didn't do very good. I did not do good at all. But I just kept coming back because chasing that feeling of adrenaline and public speaking and CDEs and just meeting friends across the state was just like, wow, like I can actually do something in this organization instead of just like be like, "Oh yeah, cool, I'm a part of FFA," and like I just take an ag class and that's it. I actually wanted to experience FFA outside of the classroom, and it's
That's
very different
so
from inside to outside.
I love the fact that you brought up that it's almost an adrenaline rush because I feel very similarly. I did public speaking my entire time in FFA from seventh grade all the way up into being a senior. And no one ever understood that like it's almost like driving a race car
Hmm.
or skydiving, which I haven't done either one of those things, but it's what I imagine those things being like, the amount of adrenaline and the way you're so excited and you're standing there up on this stage and you're about to speak and then boom, you're like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta, and your heart's just a bumping. And my favorite thing my mom always told me, she's like, be like a duck, paddle for your life down under, but be cool, calm, and collected on top. And it was just something, it was like to hide the adrenaline because I would start talking really fast or things of that nature. So that's just something special. I want to talk a little bit about your first FFA experience. I know you said you did opening and closing ceremonies as well as employment skills. I'm not sure if that's what they call it in California, but that's what they call it in Florida.
Hmm.
Um, but you're at the barn right now and you show livestock. What was your first experience with livestock, Blake?
So my first experience in livestock was not actually in FFA. It was way before when I was a child. Me and my siblings, we grew up in the suburbs area, but for some reason, my dad one day, he got this crazy idea. He saw it on Facebook. He was like, "Show hogs. I want to do that." Next thing you know, we're part of our local 4-H group, and he just buys us these hogs from a local college that breeds them. And we're like, "We have to walk around these pigs in a ring with a stick? What? Okay." So me and my siblings did it. My siblings were a lot better than me at first with it. They won market. My brother won showmanship his first 2 years. I didn't win anything. I was like 8 at the time, so I was still in like novice peewee area, and so um I didn't grow up in agriculture, but that was my first experience that I can recall back. Was my dad just getting a random idea one day to walk hogs in a ring, and I went, okay, why not? And so I did that up until about seventh grade, eighth grade. I didn't want to do it at the time. And then freshman and sophomore year, I was like, maybe, maybe not. So then junior year, I was like, okay, I'm going to get back into it. So I got my very own first pig that I bought with my money. She was a Chester White named Serenade. Great pig. She was not a market pig. She was a showmanship pig. That pig, you tap her once under her chin, she'd get that head up looking at the sky. And so she was just an overall great showmanship pig. And then now my pig Pearl, a dark cross, she's very much so a market pig, very much muscle heavy and just very well structurally built within her. She actually got first in her class. She's a class champ. And then when we went into champ drive, she got third overall dark cross. And so I
Ooh.
was really proud of her and the way she performed in that ring. And so when I actually went into the ring, she wouldn't get out at first. And I was like, oh man, okay. And so then the judge took like maybe like a 5 second glance at her, and I was like, that means he either loves her or he absolutely hates her. Turns out he loves her, and so she got first in her class in Champ Drive. He said it was between me and this Tamsworth cross, but what set the Tamsworth apart was he got his head up a little higher than her. She was very tired. Still proud of her, proud of that Tamsworth for getting reserve champion. And so that's my very first experience with livestock that I can recall is my father just getting a crazy idea one day and being like, why
Your
not?
dad just saying, "Full send it. We're gonna become cowboys today, children. So let's go grab some hogs."
Basically,
You know,
basically,
I love that. I also love I had a tired girl in the ring one time. My girl Snow, I actually would have to watch because if I didn't keep her head up, she would try to go down on her knees to just lay down in the middle of the show ring because I showed cattle and that was always really fun. Really embarrassing as a, 18, 19-year-old. I thought that was like just the most embarrassing thing ever of like I have a cow getting ready to lay down in the show ring right now. There's 10 cows behind me that are trying to get in here and my cow's like, "I'm gonna nap here."
It's okay, Lacey. It's the life of a showgirl.
Exactly. See?
Oh goodness. Blake, for reference, Lacey loves Taylor Swift.
I do.
So,
oh, her new album.
Yeah, I do love
yes,
Taylor Swift.
yes.
I do.
Well, since you didn't grow up around livestock, Blake, and your dad got this crazy idea off of Facebook, but it just adds to the fun of the story. What challenges did you guys face when you first started showing hogs?
So my dad's crazy idea, he just saw, oh, pigs in a ring, you get money off of it. Why not? He didn't actually look up the fact of market and showmanship and how completely different the styles are and what you have to do to like prepare your pig. Like where you have a white pig, you need purple soap to whiten up that white and to cancel out the yellow on their actual skin. Or that when pigs get irritation, that you need like Shoshin and baby powder and then more Shoshin on top just to cover up like that irritation or like what to do, like how to read ear notches, how to ear tag. He didn't study any of this. He was just like, okay. So definitely my first challenge was learning what all this actually meant, and after that, it was patience. The livestock industry has definitely taught me a lot of patience because I walk out with this pig who's great in showmanship, great overall pig, keeps her head up with one tap, just knows what she's doing and loves what she's doing, to going to this piglet who doesn't know anything, just a fresh start. And still in your mind, you're like, well, my last pig was great. Why isn't this one great? And it just took me a lot to calm down and be like, it's a piglet. She doesn't know what she's doing. It's her first time. It might not be my first time, but it's her first time. And I need to calm down, and I would get so angry in the beginning to where I'd have to put my whip back up, put my pig back in their pen, and walk away for like 5 minutes just to cool down so I didn't like take it out on the animal because they don't deserve that. They're doing what they know, and that's not much at the time. And so I it just taught me a lot of patience to have empathy and to just be, like I said, really patient. And it even transfers into people with life. Some people may not know. And so you can't be like, well, I know, so why don't you know? And so you just got to like be patient, calm down. If you need to, cool down for a second and then come back to it.
Yeah, that's a really good lesson to learn. I trust me as as someone who showed cattle, and I think Paige, you showed livestock as well. That was
Yeah.
something that I would always go into the pen because my dad would always say, like, if you're nervous, they can sense it, and this may be, your 10th, 12th, 15th, 27th rodeo, but this is that first heifer's rodeo. So give her a little bit of grace because that is the thing. You're taking them in there and they've like, I don't know what the heck we're doing. Like, can I nap here? Like they don't know. So it's definitely good to just take that breather, take that second of like, hey, they're new, they're fresh, they're just a baby. And then
Mm-hmm.
I think that always ends up being much more positive. It's very easy in the show industry to get very hard on yourself and your animal, but I think you have to take that moment and take that breath to give yourself and your animal grace.
My mom always said that the lead rope or your whip when you're showing hogs is like a hot wire to the animal. So everything you're feeling, they're going to feel. And so every time before I stepped in the ring, I was like, okay, calm, cool, collected,
Mm-hmm.
because I want my animal to be calm, cool, collected. And I remember standing in the ring, I'd be getting nervous. The judge is about to walk around and pick his champion or different events like that. And the minute I'd get nervous, the calf would move
Yep.
or the pig wouldn't keep its head up or all the different things that could happen. And in that moment, you learned patience with yourself and with the animal. And you learned that your emotions kind of tie into all of that. Blake, with everything you have going on now, with all of the progress that you've made, how do you track your SAE and your experiences? Talk a little bit about that.
With the wonderful AET. Don't we love it? So I track it week by week in my AET. So I average about 21 hours a week with my hogs. So you're like, how does he get 21 hours? I get 3 hours a day. 3 times 7 is 21. And so they take 1 hour to eat. I take another hour to wash them and to like walk them, and then they take that other hour to eat like their second meal. But while they're eating, I'm not just like going inside and playing on my phone. That wouldn't count as an hour. That would just count as them eating. I'm out there in their pen. I'm like, they live in mud. My pigs live in mud. So I'm like out there like landscaping their pen, just breaking down those like clumps of mud, like wetting them down, or I'm going to Tractor Supply and I'm getting supplies for them that they need or that we need, and then I'm just researching like how to actually get better at my SAE and to like actually go win in the show ring, because it's the worst feeling when you put in all this work and you just like flop at the last second because you're nervous. And so I'm just trying to like figure out ways to where I'm not so nervous and then they're not so nervous. Like it goes back to the thing, it's like you said, it's their first rodeo. It might be your like 99th, but it's still the animal's first rodeo and you have to like be patient with them. So then I'm just researching what they're doing while they're eating, not what they're doing, but while they're eating I'm like researching. I'm going to Tractor Supply for stuff that they need. I'm renovating their pens, or I'm putting in new things in their pens. So yeah, I average about 21 hours a week. And then with my finances, I put in every bag of feed, every whip that I buy, every shampoo, every conditioner, everything that I buy for that project goes in. So I believe with my project, I've invested, let's give an estimate here, 1600 so far. So
That's
yeah.
good. Now, for our listeners that may not know, the AET is kind of a universal platform for all FFA members across the nation. It's called the Agriculture Experience Tracker, and you get to input all of your records, and that website tracks your SAE projects. So then you can turn those into your state and even national FFA associations and go enter into competitions for your SAE. So that's super exciting, and it's super impressive that FFA members are being exposed to those skills really young and are able to bring those soft skills further in to the rest of their lives, like when you buy a house or a car and keeping track of those expenses, like you were saying, Blake. What are some of the biggest lessons Show Pigs has taught you?
Um,
Besides besides
Patient.
patience.
Patience. Patience with the
Um,
pigs and the people.
um, Money cannot buy work ethic. You can buy this $15,000 pig or this like $30,000 steer, but in showmanship, somebody can have a $250 pig from their local community college, like I did my first years of showing with my dad's crazy idea, or they can have this $1,800 calf that they get from a local breeder, and they can still outdo you in the showmanship ring by miles. Because a $35,000 calf or a $15,000 gilt with $5 showmanship cannot win. So money cannot buy work ethic. You need to put in the work ethic to actually like go far in this industry instead of just buy a lot of stuff, which people are like, oh well my guild's this much. So yeah, I'm gonna win. Yeah, you can win market, But if you have $5 showmanship, you can't win in the showmanship ring. You actually got to put in the hours, go out there and work. You can do it tired, you can do it sick, you can do it happy, you can do it sad, you can do it mad. You just have to go out there and work your calf because at the end of the day, they're waiting for you to get home from school, to put on that halter, to get that whip in your hand, to just go out there and work with them because that's the only thing they know, and most of the time they love doing it.
Yeah, no, that's so true. I remember that all too well. And because growing up, I lived in an incredibly competitive area. And so there were people who would spend $10,000, $20,000, and I did not ever do that. I would always just use the heifers that were born on our farm. And I remember it made it that much cooler when I won because then I was like, that's from the hard work that I put in, not the money that my dad spent. And it felt really good. So I definitely think that's a really good thing to learn early on, especially if you want to take this further. Because I'm
Mhm.
assuming since you are tracking in the lovely AET, you're probably doing that for the purpose of your next big goal, which is your American degree that you're striving for. So, what does that journey kind of look for and mean to you?
Um, so with it, I'm looking about maybe close to 1,000 more invested. I'm pretty sure even like a little less. I'm pretty sure I'm even in the 900s at this point.
There you go.
And then I need 200 more hours within an SAE, so then I just need to find like another little SAE to do that with. And then I just need the class time for my senior year. So it's really been an emotional roller coaster because my freshman year I got my green hand, not thinking anything of it. I'm like, cool, I get a grade for getting my green hand. Easy A.
Hmm.
I just have to fill out this Google form. Why not? Easy A. And then for my chapter degree, when I was starting to get involved in my sophomore year, and I was like, oh, like my chapter degree, okay, that's a pretty big thing. It's a lot cooler than having a green hand. And so then my junior year, um, when I was like actually like really involved my sophomore year and really involved my junior year, and even now I'm really involved. Just applying for my state degree. My advisor's like, "Are you gonna apply for your state degree?" I'm like, I don't know if I have the requirements. She checked. She's like, "You do," and so we applied. I got denied 3 times before I got my state degree. So the first time it was like your record book, you're just copy and pasting things into your SAEs. Don't be like me. Do not copy and paste things into your SAEs like the same week. Even if it's like the same thing week by week, I would put like, I walked, washed, and watered Serenade. She walked good today. And I would do that every day. Now just copy and paste it. Do not do that. You have to have like something unique every day. You can have some that are like that, like maybe like a handful, but you need to have like something unique that you do every day. And so then I just had to go through all my journal entries, just redo that. And then the second time, they're like, there's no way he's getting 21 hours a week of working with his pigs. So what I had to do to prove it is I had to video everything I was doing and I had to send it to my advisor to prove to her that I was actually getting 21 hours a week with these pigs. And she was like, well, he just showed me a video. So like, yeah, he's getting 21 hours a week with these pigs. He's not lying. Like he does a lot. And so then my third time's a charm. I got my state degree and they said I was eligible for it and I just felt over the moon and I was like I finally got it. And in California or any state really, but what I've noticed here is that you mainly get it your senior year. And so to get it like a year earlier than everybody else and to just be one of those few juniors walking around with that precious gold pin above my name, it was just like, wow, like I can actually go really far in this organization. And so now just looking to my like American degree, I'm like, this is insane. Going from freshman me who just did FFA because he didn't want to write a 10-page essay to now almost getting my American degree, it's like so much can change in over just the course of 4 years. It's crazy to me.
FFA makes such a big impact. And for our listeners who may not know, because FFA provides different degrees depending on what level you are in our organization. You start with the discovery degree in middle school, green hand degree when you're a freshman. I'm drawing a blank on the second one or the third
Chapter.
one. Your chapter degree. Thank you guys. And then your state degree, and eventually up into your American degree. And most people do not go and get their American degree. It's the biggest honor you can get within the FFA organization. So that's super admirable that you're chasing those dreams, Blake. I'm really excited to apply for mine in the upcoming year. I graduated last year. So we're working towards that as well. So super excited for that. How has FFA helped you find your place, especially since you came from a non-ag background? How has FFA shaped you into who you are, Blake?
Well, it's definitely helped me calm down a lot and act really a lot more professional because freshman Blake, he was like bouncing off the walls. He acted like a caffeinated toddler that got into the pot of coffee when he shouldn't have. I was very hyper, I was very talkative, I was just very like childish. And so it's definitely taught me a lot of professionalism and how to cooperate with people even if they don't have the same views as me or if they disagree on something other than like views. It's like no, like a barrel is better than a gilt. And they're not, by the way, gilts are better. So it's just definitely taught me a lot of professionalism. And so it's also shaped me by helping me find community and family. Coming into high school, I was like, what am I going to do? This school is so big. There's so many people. What am I going to do? Am I even going to have friends? And so when I put on my first time, like putting on my blue jacket, it just felt like a sense of community and family to me that just kept growing every competition day, every public speaking competition, every interview. It just kept growing, and the love for the organization just kept going for me.
Nice. Well, that is, I always love hearing that. It's so cool. Like, this podcast has been such a cool thing to listen to everybody's experience. And I love especially that you are somebody who had no agriculture experience per se beforehand. And now you've really just fully dived into FFA and the Blue Jacket. And I think that's so cool. So you're a senior now, right? So what's
hmm
the like move? What are you planning? Are you looking at colleges and are we going to be majoring in some kind of agricultural field?
So I want to go out of state, but that's way too expensive, so probably not. Um, I want to go to out of the three CSUs at California State Universities, if I had to pick some. California, California State Polytechnic, so Cal Poly SLO, Fresno State University, and then what was the last one? UC Davis. So I would be majoring in agriculture education, specializing in agri-science and animal science. So the next move is definitely go to college, get my degree in animal science and my certification in education so I can go be an animal science teacher. And so, yeah, I just want to help inspire the next generation of Blue Jackets because, in my opinion, your entire FFA experience is based on your advisor.
Oh,
You
100%.
can do really good at competitions. You can have a lot of friends in this organization, but if you don't have a good advisor that makes you feel at home or feel loved, it can really just ruin the experience for you. And so I want to be that advisor that doesn't ruin the experience. That if kids are having a hard time, I just keep pushing them to get through this and that FFA is their home and it is their family and that they can do just so much with this.
Like you're like an FFA prodigy. You didn't come from agriculture. Then it all started with a crazy idea, and then you fell in love with it. And because of your time in the Blue Jacket, now you want to inspire the next generation of FFA members. And that's so special and that's so unique. And you're going to be the best ag teacher. I just know it. But it's been so nice to speak with you today, and your story is a reminder that agriculture isn't just about where you come from. It's about your passion and where it takes you from the first day in the show barn to earning your FFA degree and working towards a future in ag education. Blake proves that dedication and curiosity can grow into something truly life-changing.
Thanks for tuning in to Beyond the Jacket. Be sure to follow along for more stories of leadership, growth, and Blue Jacket pride. Until next time, keep chasing your purpose, both inside and beyond the jacket.